Welcome back to Global Loot League. With me, Sims. We'll be casting game number 5. But so far, we have seen who's dominance.
Yeah, there's been some spicy matches so far. And obviously, rolling into this one, it's I think it's without question we have to say, Kinguin are absolutely tearing house right now. 2 wins so far out of these games, and
50% win rate, right?
It's
That's
incredible.
actually quite good.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, we're going into game number 5, and already, I'd without a doubt say they're probably more than likely at the top. We'll bring you guys up to speed shortly, but yeah, amazing work from them. Amazing work from all the players. They've really been. This is a long graft, and that's why we've given them a bit of an extended break now. Obviously, this is a best of 7, but by the end of it, you know, you talk about consistency. We really will see who is the best of the best.
Yeah, and Kinguin is looking at taking those helmets for the first place, right?
Golden.
The golden ones, obviously, for the first place, silver for the second one, and the bronze one are for the third. And other than that, we also have in-game items for the best 3 teams.
I like the bronze one. It kind of matches the beard. To be fair, it kind of merged in, so matches your shirt as well. To see your jacket.
Yeah,
kind of the same color.
that is true. But yeah, we're gonna see the points for the 4th game in a few seconds. But as you know, Kinguin did take it. Look at that, 11 kills, most in the game, while being first, 270 points for that only. Theater of Mayhem taking 2nd place after the 3rd place they had in the previous game, pretty decent as well. Team Random doing decently in all 4 games so far, so they should be high in those rankings as well. When it comes to Liquid, look at that, they finished 18th in that game since they were caught up by Team Random with a drive-by.
This is the 2nd time I'm seeing for Liquid, unfortunately, with 0 points. Good to see Theatre of Mayhem turning things around. Obviously now getting up into the top spot. The boys from TOM may have warmed up. Envious making up into top 4 as well. Harvu creeping in 5th place. Everyone else below that. But look at this. 791 points. 37 kills.
That's amazing. 37. Look at that. 2nd team actually has the 2nd position. 24 kills. 13 kills below Kinguin. That only shows the superior dominance that they have right now, but still, it's far away from winning the tournament, the entire Global Loot League, since we have 3 games left, and even with 220 points over the 2nd place, you're not guaranteed to win it, right? When you think about the placements for all the teams, I think that people until the top 10 right now have still very high chance of finishing top 3. But for people below that threshold, might be a little bit tough.
Let me just make something kind of just to really set a standard here, and you can kind of walk with me on this one, guys. Kinguin are clear of 2nd place by 231 points. They're actually clear to 2nd more points than anybody below 9th.
Interesting.
They have more points clear of 2nd. Actually, the more points than anyone 10th through 18th have through 4 games. That's huge. And when you look at how many kills they've been bagging as well, it just kind of all seems to add up. And it's really where the kills have kind of come into it for Kinguin. Fair enough, they've got 2 wins under the belt now. But when you've got 37 in total, that's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points.
Again, when you get to 10, it really just starts to kind of scale and escalate. And that's why we saw Dignitas yesterday just
jumping, right? With 23 kills, they
pretty
jumped
much
through the hoop like instantly. But enough about the game number 4. We have some really big news right now, because when you go to a site called GLL.gg, you're gonna go there and find information about the season 1 from Global Loot League, and it will be open to everyone. Everyone can compete in it. Everyone can sign up for the qualifiers, which will happen beginning of the February, I believe, 2nd to 4th, and everyone. That's amazing. Everyone can compete in the game, right? And the prize pool will be announced for the after the qualifiers as well. The prize pool for the entire event and the sponsor as well. So there will be another, huge announcement. So in general, the entire Global Loot League season 1 will be divided into 2 branches, NA and EU, 40 teams each. So from the qualifiers, 40 teams will advance, and they will play in the first season, since this is the preseason.
Yeah, this is the first time I've had the pleasure of working with the Global Loot guys, and honestly, they've got big plans, and it's been a pleasure so far. Production's incredible that we've seen. I've been treated really well. It's awesome to be here and be a part of this. Obviously, this is the preseason, but Season 1 is now in the pipeline. There should be 3 if you've got a web browser, even if you've got 3 screens, there should be 3 pages open right now. This one, Global Loot League 2, of course, on Twitch, so you get the map. And also GLL.gg. Go and have a look now. Get signed up. Get registered. Take a look at what's going on, because next year is going to be big for PUBG. Obviously, nothing's announced apart from GLL coming out with Season 1. No one really knows what's next, and everyone's kind of thinking, okay, well, 2018. This game is obviously going to launch. You've got PC version 1 just within reaching distance. We've seen what's going on the test server. Things are looking really good. Things are looking awesome for the game, awesome for the scene, awesome for the community. There's a lot to be had, and yeah, I think this game's just, I mean, it's already exploded, let's be honest. I think the other day when you looked at how many people were on the test server plus how many people were playing on the normal game, it already broke 3 million concurrent, which is absolutely disgraceful for a game so early on in its life. And to see, I think one of the stats, it was something like October or August, selling another 5 million, even though it's already been out for several months. It's still pushing copies, and yeah, there's a lot. The game's going places, the scene's going to develop, the scene's going places. So get involved. GLL.gg.
If you're an aspiring team that doesn't play even in a league right now, you can still try, because this is, as I said before, open to everyone. So make sure you go to GLL.gg and sign up with your buddies, because this is a chance for glory.
Yeah, I think a lot of there is a scrim server, which all the what we say professional players do play on. There's people setting up North American scrims, people setting up European scrims. Big shout out to the community, Leighton, Miniman, all the guys over there, Avenger, Scoom. There's some quite strong figureheads within the community who work on settings, work on setting up scrims and various other bits and bats. All the boys, there is a scrim server, and all the boys over there, shout out to you guys in the Discord. You know you are, and you know what goes down, you know the practice. It does pay off, but for the teams that don't necessarily have that foundation of being in with, and it's not so in with that crowd, but kind of new to it and emerging, you want to move forward, you want to break out, so to speak. Leagues like this and leagues that have been going on online, it's a good chance for them to kind of say, okay, well, we are the next big, the next big thing. We are looking for a sponsorship if there are, because there are still plenty of sponsors out there and still plenty of organisations that will be looking for teams to pick up and will be looking to get involved with the scene.
Well, let's just look at the Global Loot League Season 1, right? You will have 80 teams over the entire league, right? So there's plenty of space.
There's lots of room
for new organizations that were gonna go into that, hire those teams, and give them the opportunity to maybe go full time.
I completely agree, and we've seen quite a few streamers, to be honest with you. That they're now gone full time with streaming. They're going to be on a salary, because these professional organisations, you work for one yourself. When you get to that level, it's a job. It's not just, oh, you've got a T-shirt now. Like back in the day, it used to be, hey, I've got a T-shirt and I've got funding to my first LAN event. It's not like that anymore. When there's professional leagues, big money on the line, there's sponsor obligations, various other things, and you have to take it seriously. And this is the kind of game where if you do want to take it seriously, it can pay off, and you do have the opportunity to go for that. And it's good to be able to see certain people who just have played games for fun be able to turn it into that job role and turn it into, okay, the stream's now kicking off, we're getting good viewers, getting good numbers, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think I'm sure Ibiza was one who's more recently turned full time. Yeah, more recently turned into streaming full time. It's great to see that, and to see more guys be able to do that with a game that they love, and you can see the passion flying through, and yeah, everything is going in an upward direction, and honestly, it's great to see. The more people involved, the better.
Yeah, there's a lot of open space for players, for organizations, for basically everyone in the PUBG community, right? Since when you compare it to other FPS games, when you have a tournament, basically there will be like, I don't know, maybe 10 teams, right? Here, when you have an online tournament, and it will be like the final phase where everyone will be watching it, you will have space open for so many teams, right? As I said before, 80 teams for Global Loot League, and when you compare it to like final phases of ECS or something like that, there's like how many? 10? 8?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
But yeah, but the comparisons, there's a lot of open space for new players to come in and form new teams, get their experience, get their foot into the door, and try to be competitive and maybe a pro player in the future.
Yep, anything's possible, and certainly while we're still in early access on the game, we're not too far off PC version 1, I do believe, especially when we're seeing now the Miramar has been recently on the test server. It's good. It's a good map.
I love it.
I'm a big fan. So many, you can abuse the sightlines, and if you kind of, I think I saw a tweet from one of the players, and it kind of summed it up really well. that there are times where you have to move on Erangel and you have to just kind of bum rush it through a field, and you're going to die because there's nowhere to go.
Yep.
But now there's so many more different options and routes, and you're giving a team 1,001 different kind of choices. They can take a defilade, they can try and rotate around now. There's just so many different... It's not camping. It's far from it. It's using the terrain to your advantage, and honestly, I'm excited when that comes into play to see how it goes. But enough about Miramar. It's all about Erangel. The bird has left the tarmac. She's in the air, and she is coming in from up north, moving in a more westerly fashion towards Zaki. Straight down. We're going to take this course. Obviously, a few people jumping early. You're going to have North Georgiaport. In fact, Georgiaport should be quite busy. You'd expect a lot in the south. One team in the north. One team probably at Severny. Potentially shooting range. Maybe one or two players. Rosok is well easy within reach, so is School. All the western areas, the Badlands, where Envious love to go, they're sticking to the guns, and fair play. They're up at the top. Why not? Millie Island will get a final few stragglers, so we might get a few that decide, okay, we don't want to take a fight here, we'll go to Novo, or they'll just stay and take the fight and take control of military base. Havu, once again, they love Prim. What do you know? They're going to Prim, but a good spread when you look straight up, smack bang through the middle of the map. You've got a lot of players, so it'll be interesting to see how this first circle does affect it.
So far, I see no really huge surprises when it comes to landing. Actually, sorry, there is a surprise. FaZe landed nearby Envious and Havu. Look at that. Jempty is in the middle of the map, basically on his own. But Mixi, I think, is with his teammate in one of those compounds on the west side of the map, nearby to Envious. So that's one surprise, since they was really far away from Milta Power.
Take a look at some of these players and where they're going to be wandering around very, very short. Okay, so we might have a little bit of an issue here. I'll get confirmation of what's going on from the back very, very soon.
Well, that's Havoc from Azimuth Lobby, I would assume.
Yes, and we do.
No, sorry, that's from Quick Maths.
Okay, interesting. Oh well, we'll maybe it's just carry on play then. Maybe it's a free kill and he is AFK. I've already seen that Azimuth Lobby is not in here, which we do know, but bit of an AFK dropper there. So either way, kill goes in the hands of Suntouched. Everything is play on as normal as far as I'm concerned right now until we get told otherwise. So let's talk about the circle then. Lo and behold, she's over in the west. It's been gifted to both Havu and Envious, taking between Prim and all the way up that west coast, that Badlands area, where they're so spread out, and it's a constant thing that they keep doing, where you see two down at the bottom, just taking all the yellows that are spread around. But the thing is, the loot can be very sporadic, right? You've got access to a lot of different houses, a lot of different areas, a lot of vehicles, but you're not going to be bagging level 3s, 8x scope on K98s. It's going to be very sporadic what you get. Speaking of sporadic, hello, Yasnaya. One team just decides to turn up, but then they think, nope, okay, we see players, we see open doors, it's time to bail. So we've got two teams up in there. This time around, we actually don't have Theatre of Mayhem. I was checking out where FlyQuest was. They were down around the kind of the Atlantis, Marshlands, Waterworld, whatever you want to call it, that town over there. School is full. Random Rain, Penta, usual spot. AAA, usual spot. Novo's taken up. We see the rest of Dignitas. It looks like they're down in military base. Suntouch just on the edge there. One team, in fact, one player heading up to Zaki, the lone Zaki solo, and then finally Ghost Gaming hitting Severny. So where's Theatre of Mayhem exactly in all this while that's going down? Because they're the ones who could potentially shake this thing up. I didn't quite catch a glimpse.
North side of Rozok.
Oh, there you go. So they're quite spread out. So they're the little houses that look down from Roz, where you can get a really good angle. If you get something like an 8x or a K98, and you can generally try and ping a few people here and there when we're looking towards Rozhawk. Several other people just on the opposing side of Rozhawk, where you have school and all the apartments, so on and so forth. And then FlyQuest just not too far from them. Various other bits and bats going down. Pachinki is completely empty. Very slow game at this moment in time. Everything's calm. Calm before the storm, I want to say. Prim as usual. We can't be at the start. Prim might get some early engagements, actually, because we do have, just off the side, we have Ferry Port with a couple of teams kicking back and chilling back. Gatka. Ooh, Mexi's on his own in Gatka. Fizz. In fact, no. X8 next to him. Excuse me. That's our mistake there. We have Envious also floating around on the side. So they could meet early. Simsy's just off on the rest of his team. K's not too far also. Overall, it's an interesting circle. We did see a lot of people that's kind of shifted towards more the East Coast and Central Eastern area. But the circle will bring them all back around. So maybe potentially a bit of a crunch around the Ruins area when a lot of people come over. Pachinki could have someone in there maybe if they decide to drive through it. But it's unlooted as well, so they'll be gifted a nice extra amount of looting time should they manage to go through Pachinki.
Oh, look at that. Balak from Theater of Mayhem is approaching the compound. He knows that someone is inside. Judging by the way he's moving, right?
You'd expect him to. He's backed off for a second. We can obviously... I mean, you say judging by the way he's moving. It's something that I've kind of grown to just accept that when you're playing, especially at a higher elo end, when it gets more towards this level, it's never going to be at this level. Hey, up. First knockdown will come in. Simsy of Doom. So FaZe... Jempty is deleted from the server, unfortunately. Simsy will try and get his teammate up. I'm sure I just copped for a bullet there, so one of them will get knocked also. That's going to be a headshot that does come in. Is he up there? He might have just...
That's his opponent. That's from FaZe, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what did he just leave him there?
No,
oh, he's dead.
He did kill it. It was just obviously a little bit of graphical error. That's kind of what threw me off, to be honest with you there. And now all of a sudden, quite early on, I must say, we will see Ghost Gaming make their approach to the circle.
Well, this is a very similar situation to what we have seen in Game 3, when the circle kind of decided to push the people really early on with the rotations, right? Since this circle is far away on the west, you cannot even see the entire circle on the map. That will... Oh, nice shot from Balak.
Yeah, he's done some serious damage. That's Define Legit, who's about 5 HP from dying. Balak will get the reload. He's going to have another look across. Just checking out where people are, making sure and holding these angles. I kind of go back to what I was saying about these buildings. When you get more to higher elo or this end, you have to expect that every single person is going to be in every single building. And no matter which one, it's always, absolutely always going to be death when you walk up to them. Fuzzface unfortunately dies from falling. I did see a knock from there, so it potentially may be a grenade. So that's Penta, I think, who have now eliminated 2 FaZe members. Could be wrong. I'm just kind of following what's going down in the kill feed. You obviously guys at home can watch the ticker on the left-hand side. But it looks like it's going to be FlyQuest who want to try and take the middle ground here. Gatka's going to be a very strong position. But honestly, it feels like a lot of people are passing it up.
Yeah, that's true. But we can see that a lot of people from a lot of teams are actually doing scouting right away. Kinguin is doing something that they were doing in the previous game, split up into two duos and just trying to find a secure position for themselves. Look at that, FlyQuest taking shots at Austin right now, and he needs to back off, and his car is almost on the brink of explosion.
Yep, smoking car. We'll get out of the fire though.
They have a good position here. The communication tower in the middle of, let's say, the west side of the map has really good positioning, apart from the observatorium, where other people can shoot at you. But other than that, you still have a dip where you can hide, and 4 people can easily control the area from here.
I think the more important thing is that obviously they too have the vehicles, so that you can actually just position these vehicles and play around them should you want to kind of build yourself a little fort, because there are all the defiles, there are all the little dips, and you can just kind of work your way around these. Molman is having a fight for his life by the sounds of it. Level 3 helmet. We got a Scar as well. The foregrip does its job. Silencer comes in. Compensator minus 5% on the deviation, but it's not needed. The spray down's there. The 2 times as well. Easy kill for Molman. Fuzzy Potato. Unfortunately, his life has been ended. So easy loot for him.
3 members left. Early in the game, and we already have seen 4 kills.
We want to see this, though. We actually want to see some fast-paced games. Or at least I do, anyway.
I think on Miramar, we'll have to see that. Because the map is so different from Erangel. But Erangel... Oh, what happened here with...
FaZe are having a bit of a rough game, to be honest. I think that's either the 2nd or 3rd member now that has gone down from FaZe.
That's the 2nd member. Do you think that's caused by the fact that it's an unusual placement for them, since they're always dropping on Milta power, and this is the time when they had to change that plan, since the plane was just going over the west side?
I think FaZe are too, if I'm going to be honest, I know it obviously hasn't paid off now, but I think FaZe are too good for that. I think this is kind of what I said before. A top tier, a top level team needs to be able to deal with any situation, and you have to have that backup plan of, okay, and this is what you will see with a few other teams if you get the chance to speak to them in the back, they're always going to have, and they might not give it away, but they'll have a backup route. Okay, if the plane does this and we can't get to our usual place, where do we go from there? It felt like they are very, split up and sporadic, so they've been kind of picked off one by one, which is rather unfortunate. It was kind of what's put them in this last place position, so to speak, and been the first team that may have just fallen. Excuse me, I think there is one left, so they haven't fully fallen yet. I can actually see Hexit has been, he's kind of over there just chilling, and also Mexi. So he does have a chance to get him back up. However, he has to go through Kingwin to make this one work, and it might be a factor that they say, okay, let's just bail on this idea for now. You stay alive, Mexi. There is Law, who is just waiting, along with another Kingwin member as well. And FaZe are split up with a house. Scoom with the spray down, taps up a vehicle, and now he has to run back. The M4's there. He's got level 2s across the board. Bag, chest, helmet. That's going to be a 40% damage reduction should he take a bullet.
But he has iron sights on the weapon, right? No, there's a red dot.
Yeah, thankfully at least. Ooh,
What's in the care package? My favorite weapon in the game.
By far the strongest AR in the game. It's an absolutely dominant weapon. It's accurate. You can fire it at range. You can fire it close quarters. The fire rate is disgusting. It's X762. It's going to hit you for a minimum of 48 per bullet. Especially, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but if you also have a compensator with you, it's not a compensator, excuse me, a suppressor. If you have a suppressor in your back pocket, you can wang that on for an extra 5% deviation loss. It's just an incredible gun. Overall, the best AR in the game.
Well, before nerf, AK was absolutely fantastic, and still Groza was better than the old AK. So I think that says enough of the quality of the weapon, and honestly, it's a good sniper weapon with a 4x on it.
It's just an AK on steroids, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's absolutely a monster weapon, and if someone has it and has practice with it, he can just kill squads on his own. And if you have vehicles approach you, you can melt it on your own.
Yeah, I think the most scary thing is because of the fire rate as well. You can have a panic station where you can be inside a building. If you do get compound breach, you can even just hip fire with the gun, and because people are so up close and personal with you, hip firing on 7.62, it does hurt. All of a sudden, boom, 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 there she is. The circle takes an absolute dip towards the south. We've got about 40 to 45% water coverage. That is a very, very small corner of island for 62 players to cram into. Certain teams here could play this smart. Do they go in? Do they get the foot in the center? Do they get a foothold on the map? Or do they take up a position where they can actually hunt people moving into the circle? Do they be the gatekeepers here? We'll see where Sampty and Ollie go. They could potentially take the yellows just outside the circle if they wanted to.
Let's take a look though on the east side of the circle, since there are two teams, AA and QuickMap, that are getting really close to each other. And in the meantime, they find legit from Ghost Gaming on. Look at his health. No helmet, and he's just flipping on the bike. Will he be dead? Almost.
No, not this time, thankfully.
Yeah, you cannot drive from that place, man.
He was just asking to die, unfortunately, but nobody comes in. Level 3 vest. That's a nice 55% damage reduction, but 0 helmet. In fact, if anyone just catches him here, he's all kinds of... He's just crashed again and lost a bit more health, I think. Just a tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah, and I don't think he has...
We can hear bullets. I can actually hear bullets pinging him, so anything else, he's in all kinds of trouble. We'll now get inside the house. It's going to be a level 3 house as well, so he's got plenty of room to move. Penta decide it's time to move. FlyQuest are right behind them. Everybody's going to rotate like a bad man because this is a tiny, tiny circle for 62 players. It's about to get real, guys. Keep an eye on that kill feed. We won't be able to keep up with it. Everyone's now making a move. You see a lot of spray downs. You see maybe potentially a lot of vehicle explosions. You can see one team pinging off another. Envious, they're going to maybe potentially see Ghost Gaming hiding in the compound. They're out in the open on the roadside. Havu, they're trying to get stuck in as well around the quarry area. Penta, just as well, stuck between two teams. One more team will come in from the left-hand side. That's going to be the West Coast. They're just going to creep on in. They have the option to dive in the water should they need to, because we do have a team peering down the barrel on them. And then finally, we just have three more teams, and Ultra's getting a kill.
Well, in the meantime, he did get Define legit in that building. He breached it on his own. I think he just didn't know that someone was in there.
Yep, feels like a panic station sitting on the steps, but he had no helmet regardless. Fair enough, he had the level 3 chest, which is going to help when you're up close and personal, but Yeah, he's going to be all kinds of damage. He's gone in, he's pressed the advantage. Whether he knew he were there or not, you know, you have the spray down with the hip fire, and it's going to be GG. FlyQuest getting tagged up from the left-hand side. It's going to be Kip with the 4 times. K98 just waiting for one person's face to peer through that gap. Doesn't find a target. Level 2, so thankfully can take a few bullets. But almost ripping off 50% of his health there. One bullet does find a target. Hits his body. His teammate Toomey's also damaged. They now need to hit the deck. But they have a nice little area here. You can kind of play between this and crouch down a fair bit. You've got the vehicle covering your back. You do have a tower if you want to play a ballsy move, but really there's no need to, because you will just silhouette in the box and give them a skybox to aim at. But quite a fair bit of low health there, I must say.
Well, Gambino did take a really good high ground for themselves. So this might pay off in the long run. One thing I want to point out, in the meantime, we have seen one team on the west side, on the beach basically, and that was a result of having a scout in the meantime. That was just doing groundwork for the movement, and that scout did say, there's no one here. We can just go there right now.
There's a lot to be said for getting information and being a scout for your team. It's something that I really praise, and I think he goes kind of underrated for it a lot when you look at TSM. The stuff that AMPR does on that team, just driving off. He loves his dustbin trike. He's always on the 3-wheeler. You'll see him wandering around, rotating about, saying, okay, this is clear, that's not clear, this is clear, that's not clear. I mean, apart from being individually talented, individually skilled, who can take his gunfights should he need to, he does an awful lot of work with TSM, feeding the information back, and it's certainly... It's nice to see players doing that. You do need that person who's going to be the scout. You do need the person who can give the information and feed it back. Ooh. Meanwhile, information not coming through enough for Reaper of Points. Monkey's got his number. He does get down the hill. He's got the cover now behind the car, so at least can get his health back.
Those are the two teams that were moving from the east side of the circle, AAA and Quick Maps, that have to meet at some point, and that point seems to be right now.
It's really scary when you just meet the IEM champions just in open field. They're a bunch of scary dudes, and I tell you what, they're an incredible shot as well. As we see Shadow, he does take 1 kill. That's Nucky who falls and bets the end of the M16, unfortunately. Shiv, he smells blood and fancies more. You can hear the vehicles going off. The taps will come through. Nothing's going to be found at long distance. It's very hard to hit someone on a bike, but certainly not impossible by any means. And they've taken this point in. This is kind of what I mentioned before. The rotation will come in from the opposing team to try and get behind them, take cover down on the ground. But if they go forward, unfortunately, they're going to be finding the front end of Liquid.
Yeah, look at Hooligan. That was what I was mentioning. Snackers and his teammates Slightmers and Microstar are already there because of Slightmers.
Uh-oh. I think that they're kind of asking to...
get shot at?
Yep, this ain't good.
But they're on bikes. That's 130 kilometers per hour. Hard to hit that without really good green ammo weapon.
They've caught him. Don't get me... Oh, please do it. Imagine. I actually saw it done earlier on, to be fair. It has been done before. Jorski coming in, Harvey getting a knockdown.
Look at that. They're going now next to FlyQuest.
Oh,
next
God.
Another team. They are going to be shot at from every single direction. This is going to be nasty. But the bike can prevail. The maximum speed of the bike is really giving them the edge right now. So they are surviving that insane amount of suppressed fire from their opponents.
I don't actually know how they've made it through alive, to be honest with you. It's quite impressive, but as you say, it's a ballsy player. Just what else can you do? It's such a small, cramped circle for so many players. You've just got to do what you can. The thankful thing is that there's a lot of defile, there's a lot of groundwork, there's a lot of attributes that you can kind of play behind, and unfortunately, once again, they're going to be running into another team. It's going to be Dignitas inside the compound. Liquid says, nope. We're not going in here, my friends. It's time to run. Goes past another 2 as well. The spray down comes through, but Reaper, by doing so, he rears his face. He goes down. King would have moved in upon this compound. They've made it their own. They've claimed the ground. Tap, tap, tap. Gaxi tries to go for another one, but he is dead. So the bike, don't get me wrong, it made them last for quite so long, and they're still in this competition, but they do only have 1 player remaining.
Yeah. There's a little bit of greed happening from the quick maps, because they were just going out of their building to shoot at a guy that was driving near them with the vehicle, right? And they get shot by King with, oh my god, a nade from Penta!
What?
That was a preemptive nade.
It was. I mean, he banked the UAS. I was surprised he made it in the first place, but the preemptive grenade, it does the damage. It makes him fall. I mean, thankfully, 1 player's there to help pick him up. Ultra, though, he pokes his head, but unfortunately, AAA, they've got his number red. He will drop. 1 person remaining in the Harry Potter. They know exactly where he is. Shiv's scoping this one out. 4 times in hand. Looks away at the wrong second. Gives him a chance to poke. You see the bullet just hit the dust there. gives away more information. Once again, though, AAA, all 4 members back up, looking through the door. Will he show his body?
Ultra is dead. Like, there's no chance someone will make the rest for him unless AAA is getting shot in the back by someone else.
It's going to be Araxio who comes in. You just heard the tap in. All of a sudden, the Silas 16 hits through the door, and he will be dead. So Penta. Oh, actually, Froz on the other side of the map just killed Suntouch, so he's still banking up points. I mean, Penta is still alive and still in this one, walking side by side there. Ultra does finally go down. You said he wouldn't last so much longer, and he does not. Bullets getting passed across left and right. This is a crossfire across the quarry right now. Send it. Let's see if he can send it. Signed, sealed, delivered. Grenade. Let's see what he does. It's going in. It could be good as well. This one's going to be rolling up between them both. Will it find its target?
Oh my god, did you see that vault over the small wooden wall? That was crazy. I mean, didn't end up
Havu's still here. He's still there on the side. Sorry to cut you off there. Like he tried to peek on them, but he just didn't.
That was crazy. The nade was perfect, but there was enough time to jump over the small wooden wall. But for Havu Gaming, this is gonna be a really rough situation because that nade forced them to cease fire and move. And that was enough of a time frame for their opponents to just move up, get the pressure on, and shoot them up while they were in the open. Bikini Model, the last standing member, he needs to now fight for his life and for his team. Well, rip in pepperonis. No, not much you can do. But at least it was a trade.
Bikini Model should be used to a photo shoot. Unfortunately, it gets the front end of a shooting range. Havu, they're out the competition. Pretty much simultaneously, all 4 players drop. Caden once again coming in hot. That's going to be Balak with a K98. Caden's oh god, he's such a good sniper. We've seen time and time again, yesterday and today. He does so much work.
I was talking about him in the previous game when I was casting with Forsen. We have seen a highlight from Caden with an M4 with an 8x scope. He was shooting just people that are jumping to the river. So another really fantastic shot by him with the Kar98, a headshot on his opponent. He's just doing that constantly.
Mexi playing the blue for FaZe. The longer he stays alive, the higher up in the points and the table he will take them. Random, they're moving in. They're using the vehicles and they're rotating. Macrostar on the edge, he's just chilling. He also wants to play the blue for just a little bit. Ibiza goes down, though. Just going to send it, doing some work now. It helped be the end of Havu in the previous one, and now he's trying to be the end of Kingo in here. 4 times on the M16, level 2, level 2. 40% damage reduction across the board, head and chest, thankfully. Mikoi in the distance, down the barrel of the ACOG here for the Kar98. He knows exactly where he is. Not a big fan of using the coat again, the giving away position. It's red, you can see it quite clearly. You see the flaring of the edge of the coat as well. The pan didn't quite cover him as much as he would. All of a sudden, one team wants to turn up, but they're going to be turning up to a gunfight, unfortunately. Did he run him up? Oh.
I don't think so, but Reels did that in the previous game, so he wanted to go for the blood again, but now he's getting knocked by Profi from Ghost Gaming, and Riskanos is on the edge of his life, and he got shot to the head, lost his helmet, and now is being in a defensive position, just waiting for his other member of the team, Crip. He's the last member alive. Now he needs to be a hero to save the other 2 guys.
Austin was just like, nope, I'm going back in. I'm not getting run over, my friend. Profi is stepping out a little bit too overzealous.
But he doesn't know where's the other teammate.
Doesn't realize he's there. He's just banking on the edge.
All right, well, Reels is hiding next to the swamp behind a small rock. He's going slowly towards his teammate. Maybe there's a small chance he's gonna get rest.
It's tiny, but it's there.
Here we go. There's a hero movement from Crip.
He's also got people up the hill, though. That's why he's got to be careful. I think he's thankful that he's actually got this tree line. The tree line's just saving his ass right now. It's not actually a pan, it's a tree this time round. Hetra, 8x scope on your left-hand side. That's going to be on the 16, going to be silenced as well. Monkey on your right-hand side screen. M4 with the ACOG, I believe. Yep, it is indeed, the M4. He's getting battered in the back, though. He'll hold his point for a second. FlyQuest just gives some warning shots, says, look, we're down here, this is our territory, don't bother pushing us.
I like how they move. They make some first shots on their opponent's back, showing the position of themselves, and then they rotate in the opposite direction. So what they do by doing that is that they take control of basically entire tactical movement of another team that is above them.
McCoy bites the dust, unfortunately. He falls straight in the line of sight. 4 players bearing down upon him. And now here comes the rotation from FlyQuest. They want to try and get an angle. And they're using the side of the mountain perfectly. They're just running at the side of the edge of the circle and at the edge of the mountain. You know what? It's kind of paid off because they're going to rotate into the circle. They'll be able to play the bottom end kid and knocks out Chris. That's going to be GLL doing its work. Theatre of Mayhem. Chris also will die from outside the circle, so he just knocked him as he came in from the blue. Does that mean Theatre? No, they don't, because obviously it was a knock. So Avenger answers back. Knocks one himself. Balok also gets taken down. Avenger then comes in with a kill. So Avenger's still alive here for Theatre of Mayhem. Snakers answering back to Balok himself. He will finish him off with a headshot on the M4. Grenades are going down, though. Oh, my word. It's done so much damage. Do they have any more, though? I think they were just kind of throwing some warning bombs down there. They don't realize how much... He does have it. No, he's peeking it. So he kind of knows what's good. They have the information. They know they're still in that corner. Mexi has just died outside in the blue. So that could be the end of phase, if I'm not mistaken. I called it wrong last time. It might be the same
that's
this time.
the end of phase. That was last member, and he was pretty far away from this local. Flyk was taking shots on the AAA, and they're having some really good shots lately.
I mean,
And
where
they
do you
have a
go here?
fantastic position,
Where
right?
do you go and what do you do?
Well, you know, there's a lot of terrain that you can hide behind, and FlyQuest actually have their backs safe, so they don't have to worry about their flanks and back. That is a huge advantage, because now they can just focus on the 90 degrees angle in front of them and slowly and methodically move in front of it. So they don't need to peek right now. They can wait for the next circle and just go straight with that circle.
Bullets come in. Just taking a look at the fireworks show on display on the map. 8 times. Hetra.
Is this suppressed M16? Will it do work?
He's holding his, trigger discipline. That's fine. No point in giving away your position because he does have a pretty solid angle here. They need to, after this, they have to move into the circle. So you don't want to have people like... right now, AAA is in the exact spot of where FlyQuest want to be. So if they're going to take this fight and kill them and take this ground, they have to do it very carefully. Shiv gets battered, though. He hits the deck. The blue's now about to creep very slowly. It will push Hetra.
Look at FlyQuest. If he's gonna push up towards that hill, and the one UAZ is actually on flames, so he can maybe take advantage of that by just shooting that UAZ and taking cover out of AAA.
Shiv just pooped the bed a little bit. Saw the grenade. I mean, he heard the grenade right in his face. It didn't kill him. Definitely has been a little bit... He's cut off from the rest of his team.
I think Penta just lost the last member outside of the play zone. Yeah, that's the end of Penta.
FlyQuest now, all in. All 4 boys are inside. Shiv gets a little bit too greedy, sticks his head out too much. That's going to be a silhouette if I've ever seen one before. If he goes again, I'm seeing grenades, just little dots flying through. They're like ants flying through the air, but will it find a target whatsoever? Shiv still smells blood. He's getting hyper-aggressive, but he's also getting punished for it. He gets pushed back. He gets a couple of shots off himself. That's fine. Bandages will come in. He's got the rest of his team to do some work if they need to. But take a look at that kill feed. It's all kicking off now. 27 players remaining on Erangel. And she is proving to be a very, very nasty woman right now because she's just claiming so many lives. This circle has been so dangerous. One member of FlyQuest also getting caught because his team's just laying down fire from up high. At the moment, it's just the side of the quarry. The Kings at the top of this place are the ones doing so much damage. Kinguin just sat happy for the time being. It all depends where this next circle goes.
So much is happening right now. Everyone shooting at every single direction. FlyQuest is getting sandwiched between 2, maybe even 3 teams. Random, in the meantime, killed Shiv from AAA. So the team that got the high ground is getting now punished as well. Look at that splatterhouse.
Envious have just got their 3rd team player up. So 3 members of Envy remain. Grenade.
Ooh, that's a smoke.
This is going to confuse the living hell out of them. This is going to allow him to move. He'll grab an angle. Oh, they're getting scared. He's actually baited them out with the grenade. As soon as you hear the dink, it's panic station. So great work from Monkey there to kind of use it to scare them. And now they're going to be so confused. He'll be giving this information to AAA saying, look, this is where they are, boys. They're all around hiding in the shack. Get stuck in or at least keep cover. He taps the side again, and now he's going to hide the footsteps with the smoke. His teammates can advance on them, which is what they're doing. Look at Shadow. He's using the smoke to cover. JWH steps up.
Fire, but
there's the bait and switch.
A lot of people are getting knocked out. It's 17 people alive, but I think like 5 are already on the ground begging for mercy.
Oh, so many people are dying. Ibiza's killing one. Larsen's knocking. Larsen's killing again. Larsen actually gets knocked himself by the play zone. That means the blue's creeping in and it's doing its work. Hetra takes out Larsen himself.
We are at the top 10 right now because Caden died outside of the play zone. Look at all those skulls in the play zone. What a nasty circle for so many teams.
Venerated, Austin, Envious. God, it's taking so many people right now. 9 players finally. JHH will fall. AAA, the pinch works. The last member of Random just sitting on the edge here, just banking.
So who's in the middle of that circle? He's
So
alone in the white circle right now.
We got 2. Oh, FlyQuest are actually getting pushed from behind. They didn't expect this one. All of a sudden, they come from nowhere. FlyQuest have got it red like a book, though. That's going to be the red dot doing so much damage. Real says, okay, I'll accept this challenge. That's not a problem whatsoever. Crypt will fall. He is in a really rough spot, though. This, I mean, quite literally, it's a mountain to climb. AAA are going to be sitting very happy. Just going to let the people scale the side of the mountain.
That's Pixen in the white zone right now, but he's gonna get flanked by Kingwin with 2 members still alive. Maybe he's able to pull off a miracle here and kill both of them. Actually, no one is gonna approach him. Look at that. That's a pretty safe position for Kingwin. They're not gonna move from here at all.
Ibiza just laying down, tucking himself in.
I mean,
Same
for
Law.
them, they are the first in
It's
the league right now. They
ridiculous.
don't need to. Yeah, they don't need to fight. They just can chill here, wait for the final team that go out alive out of the engagement from the other sides, and just take a chance to win the game again because of that. Because they will be passive right now.
I mean, what are we? 2, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so the guaranteed top 4, as simple as that. Excuse me, top 5. No, top 4, I'm right.
Yep.
The guaranteed top 4, so even more
We have
points in the
now-
bag, and there you go. As soon as one player drops, that's top 3.
That's Team Random getting eliminated right now, but we still have in contention Hooligans, Blank, AAA, and Kingwin.
How do they deal with this one? This isn't a good position for them. It all depends on this next circle. Now, all of a sudden, AAA are in a bit of a spot because they have to come down from the mounting side. How will they deal with this? Realizes that they have the circle, and they can watch, they can pray. Same for Kingwin.
It's going to be a waiting game right now.
Well, they expect people to move down, right? We've got 3 teams of 2,
Mhm.
and no one has any... Oh, I think he's just... No, he hasn't shown his face yet. Ibiza sees it, he strikes, and he... That's a spray control of a god. My word, every single bullet connected. That is an incredible shot from that young man.
He was just splattered over that mountain.
Good God.
AA doing the jump because this is the moment to move right now. The circle is deadly, so you cannot be caught in it at all.
He got the kill!
Got the
The
kill
jump
with the
grenade!
frog grenade. Alright, it's 2-on-2, AA versus Kingwin, and Kingwin is making the move. They're being aggressive. They're going into the line of sight, and Monkey getting the knock. Will he finish up his opponent? He sees him. He's very low. They have the advantage, and they're taking it. AAA with the first place in Game 5, while Kingwin, the king of the hill right now, taking the second place, which still cements the top position of the bracket.
Ibiza, you can't do things like that. Spray a man down at distance, not give him any time, completely batter his brains, and then jump grenade another team. I mean, fair play. They didn't get first, but who cares when they've got so many points to play with just to get balls in and say, oh, let's go in. Being able to eliminate a team like that, in your mind, it's like, okay, they're gone. I've got myself another placement. Who cares? Let's get stuck in. Let's have a bit of fun. I don't mind. They've got points to play with. That is an unbelievable performance. Shadow with 4 kills, Monkey with 3, Araxe 1, and also Shiv with 1. AAA, top of the board, taking first place in that server. Second place, Kingwin. Third place, it's going to be Crypt, Realize, Rixnaz, and Kavorka.
Which is blank.
Then we move down to Random in 4th and FlyQuest in 5th. 6th and 7th appropriately. You can see that. The
Envious,
American
Ghost
teams.
Gaming, yeah. So, not a really bad placement for the top teams. They're kind of solidifying the top positioning in the bracket, but
Yep.
that might result in some teams being out of the contention already. But what if they pull off a Dignitas, right? And they just
happen.
get 25 kills in one game, which suddenly boosts them, like, the addition. But with those kills, they would win an additional game.
I think that's kind of the mentality that they'll be going into this now. They now have, they've got 2 games to make something happen. If they want to get at least one of these, there's
Or this.
exactly any one of these, there's still a chance to do it. You've got 2 more games. What do? Do you just... Is that you polishing them?
Yes.
I like it. Don't mucky your suit. Come on.
Yeah, it's okay. It
Bronze
has to go to
pedal
the
over
washer anyway.
But being able to kind of say, all right, this is what we need to do, guys. We need to just go in now. We just need to get stuck in. There is a chance for us to do this. And again, as Lothar said, Dignitas's performance yesterday proved that it can be done. If one team decides to just bag themselves, look, this is the hop you mentioned.
So close. But he got headshotted in the meantime while he was jumping. So that was a fantastic nade because it allowed them to make the pressure move. That was the moment that they needed to make the move in the open to take the shots.
I still can't believe Jorska just responded so fast. To be able... That's the sign of a pro player like that. To be able to just, you know, crouch jump above into the next room and in a panic station mode, to be honest. I mean, whoop, that was close.
So close. And we have seen reels, I think, knocking out Ultra from Penta last game with his UAZ as well. So if he would have just made that again, that would have been hilarious. But he missed, like, I don't know, by 10 centimeters or something like that. It was really close. For you, that's like 4 inches.
Yeah, very, very. Monkey, finally at the end, this is the final kill cam you saw come in. Just AAA working together, holding the point. But, yeah, King going. I think there's no doubt in my mind they'll still be #1. Just an incredible game overall. Some of the stuff we've been seeing, and it's kind of goes hand in hand with that circle. I mean, it was very small. We knew it was going to be, I think messy is a strong word, but busy. It did get a little bit messy towards the end, but it was a very, very small circle for how many people were still remaining at the time to enter it. And to have so many vehicles in such a contested area, you can just build yourself a fort. It really is about kind of taking a prime location and taking your battles, standing your ground. If you got in there earlier, you knew that people, kind of like what we saw towards the end there, Ghost Gaming had people coming to them. And this is the point where you can just happily bank the kills, and as soon as you're doing it, you're moving up in the position, up in the places. And those kind of circles, they can be good for you, they can be bad for you. It all depends how the whole thing pans out, but getting stuck in a prime position, prime territory, where you know people will be coming and approaching you, it's an interesting one because, again, when you're looking at all the compounds, every time you drive past a compound, you're going to be thinking, there's no point in us going here because there's going to be a team sat in there. It's a prime compound. But it's when you go to all these little outposts and these little houses and people are just, you know, even we saw at the top of the mountain there, for instance, just inside the little shacks and such, every single piece of terrain becomes a potential hiding spot for a team.
That was like a testing ground for the new map because it's very similar when it comes to the ground, for the terrain to be formed the way it's formed on Miramar, where you can't really use your vehicles to the full extent and you need to go, you know, on your foot, on the mountain, take like some small divots to take advantage of that. So it's an interesting, it's a different game. When you see the circles, they can end up in a city. It's a different game all over the place, right? When you ends up in a quarry, it's a different game as well. Auto grenades can be used. Maybe finally some stun grenades will see some action, right? We have seen that yesterday. So all in all, PUBG is all about unique situations that you need to take advantage of, and you need to think quick on your feet.
Which was a prime kind of, I don't want to call him out on it, just for instance, Jorski from Harvard, just responding to that grenade and knowing what to do, just to hop, skip over a wall next to it. I know, fair enough, he didn't survive much longer because the team pressed the advantage and got stuck in, but he's having the ability to react to situations like that and deal with whatever's quite literally thrown at you. It's nice to see. Pro players kind of stepping up and just showing really what it takes to play at that level, just the little things.
I still need to see someone panning a grenade.
Is that even doable?
Yeah, that's doable.
Is it?
You can actually smash a grenade off yourself.
I've seen somebody deflect a bullet and actually swing for it on purpose. I've seen that one on Twitter.
You can see this. You can do the same with a grenade.
Will it blow up or will it hit elsewhere?
Yeah, it just goes somewhere else. You know.
That's amazing.
So if someone pulls that off in a pro match, I'm gonna buy him personally a champagne for that.
There you go then.
It has to be from an opponent though, not from your team.
You need a clip.
Yeah, and a clip. Anyway, let's go to a short commercial break because we're gonna go into the game number 6 right after that. And after that, we'll have only one match left because that will be the end of the Global Elite preseason. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going straight into the next game after the next commercial break.